What is today? Monday? Oh man, did I just miss a Monday? Nah. Hey everybody, SimplySuperDave coming at you with another episode of Staying Super. Oh, let's stay super real with this one. Really been stewing a lot. I usually do these little podcasts in the morning times. Every now and then I get a hair up my ass and do an evening time. Because when it gets dark, I don't know, it's how I see everything, right? Like, all the fun, good family things happen during the daytime, evening time, whatever, put the kids to bed. All right, it is adult time. And that's how I feel when I do an evening broadcast. And, well, I just want to clarify what this podcast is about, okay? Let's start off with our host, SimplySuperDave. For one, do you think I walk around and talk like this to everybody every day? Now, granted, if you really know me and you've met me in real life, I kind of do. But not so much, right? Like, I'm a little bit more uncensored. And sometimes I think maybe that's how I should do the podcast. But then I would be sharing my opinions and really talking about how that should be, the way or whatever. And that is not what the podcast is about. The podcast is about making you think about yourself and your situation and the topic at hand that I talk about. So the topic tonight is, who am I? Well, who the fuck is SimplySuperDave? We've done a 411 on me at the very beginning, gave you the insights of my positive side, but as things have progressed on and you've heard me talk about topics, the more you get to know me. The more you get to know me. Yeah, a little Jack Nicholson there. Well, I just feel it, but I doubt I sounded like it whatsoever. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the topic. Look. There is no way the SimplySuperDave persona is who I really am. I am not perfect. I have stated it several times in the podcast and beyond, and I don't take this. I don't know. I'm a little hard on myself at times. I have my weak moments, but I am a huge failure at a lot of things in life, and I'm just looking for my one thing, and that's why I try out streaming and I do the podcast now just for the hell of it, just to see where it goes, if I'm actually saying anything that, resonates with anyone, and I question that sometimes. I do, it is hard to put yourself out there. But with streaming, I made my mind up that because you can make a library of all these videos. If you check out my YouTube, that would be great, because then you can see videos from over 10 or so years ago, all the way up through the streams and to the podcasts themselves. And now we're going to have a little mixture of them. If I ever get around to popping that little stream up, try to do it once a week. So if you want to follow me on Twitch as well, got that video game area covered. That's where really a huge foundation of my listeners come from, and branch out from that. So if you know me personally, you'll listen to the podcast, then I think you would really understand it a lot more. But if you don't know who I am, that's how the perspective I try to deliver. A little bit more censored. But from a perspective of not trying to tell you what to do, what to say, or what to think. I just want you to think, but I want you to think independently. I want you to look at things and kind of like read through stories you normally wouldn't read through, just for the information. See what is all there over and over, and what's different, what's an opinion and what's facts and things like that. And then at some point, you get to the point where you realize that all the information that you're getting is controlled information. So you have to wonder what's not being given to you. And those are the things that I like to talk about, because we can all talk about what's thrown out there for us to feed on from main media and other opinionated people out there with clout and the social platform or whatnot, and that's lovely for them. My perspective comes from I'm not a nobody. I'm literally a nobody, and I'm almost a 50-year-old nobody, so I've been doing it a very fucking long time. And I'll tell you right now, folks, you don't want to fuck with a nobody because they have nothing to lose. And so that's why I do the podcast so brazenly. I have really not, shit the show for my life, really, honestly. When I die, they're going to be like, well, who wants this debt? That's maybe they'll wipe it off as a good faith of him being finally gone out of this world, and I'll have to be a financial burden to anybody. But I'm struggling, but that's okay. That gives me an even more narrow down at the bottom end of the barrel, right? So I can give you a nice, clear perspective from the very bottom. But you know what? What's sad though? I'm not really at the bottom. I know what the bottom really looks like, and it's you don't want to go down there. There's no light. You can't even see the barrel throughout because you're underneath crap. That's the real bottom. That's the sediment at the bottom of the barrel. All the shit and dirt and crap that settles at the bottom. That last swallow at the bottom of the Coke. Yeah, that's the one you don't want. You'll throw away the bottle with that last swallow. I promise you, every time. Anyway, folks, look, I know that I put my best foot forward when I do the podcast, and I say a lot of things that maybe I want to believe in, because ultimately this is a recording of my thoughts and my feelings and how I would hope the world to be. If some random person that doesn't know who I am in real life listens to this podcast and they go, you know what, I get where this guy's coming from, because it's what could you not question out there, to the point of what's important and what's not important. Well, it's really up to you. Like I said, if you've listened to every episode of the podcast, and this is number 51, so I just want to say big thanks and support to everybody or thanks for all the support from everybody that has made the podcast possible. And not only that, but to actually do 50 episodes, I really can't honestly believe it. There was a couple times where I just wanted to kind of give up, and y'all just started downloading, and how can I quit? I know it's a small group of you, but you're my little cult. Yeah, Dave's cult. That's great. And that is a true honor, But in the ultimate end, if these are my last words spoken and recorded, I would hope that people would be able to go back and learn a lot about me through the podcast or the streams or things I just recorded, because I cared about these things. And that's why I felt the need to put myself out there and to kind of put my, heart on my sleeve a little bit. But at the same time, I'm very guarded. And like I said, I am a recluse, which is why this whole experience is weird. Because normally I would not say a lot of these things to people. And if there was, there'd be the same 5 people I see on a daily basis at each store that I deliver to or whatever. I spread the word in real life, not just on the podcast. I assure you of that. Now, am I an asshole? Yes. Can I be a bad person? Yes. If you poke the bear too many times, he's just going to keep grrr. Sometimes you got to leave the bear alone for a while so the bear will get over it. But if you just come back while the bear is not over it yet and poke him again, he's going to get even more mad, and sometimes people poke the bear too many times with Dave. It happens from time to time. I try to be polite about it, but then I just lose it and I talk like a crazy person. And I can be just as disrespectful as the next person. That's why I've totally embraced your faults along with your perfections. I really tout that a lot, because we can always work on getting those perfections a little bit better, and we can always work on fixing those little failures that we got in our life, those little malfunctions that we keep malfunctioning with. I have a lot of them, and apparently, and that's cool because I accept them for who they are. I mean, they make me the dysfunctional person that I am, right? My pain is my source of inspiration to do what I'm doing. And at some point, I mean, folks, let me put it this way. I even have ideas of getting a canvas. This is my ultimate idea, to get a canvas. And I already have an easel. We're going to put the canvas up there, just like Bob Ross. And I want to stream, but I want to paint. And but I want to do paintings, and then in some form of a way, I can't figure out how yet, maybe through donations or whatever, and maybe sell or give away the painting at the end of the stream, like, a week or two, like every week, do a painting and give it away, kind of thing. I don't know. That's like I said, that's a ways down the road. For one, I got to start painting. That would be helpful. Yeah, I'm just going to throw up a canvas to start painting. I did it in high school, but it's been many years. But I'm very artistic, so I think that's not something too hard for me to get into. I just have to open that creative door, So there's a lot of things that I would like to try in the digital media area, and the podcast was just the next step. So we'll see where it all goes down the road. But for all you that are taking this little, I don't know, journey down the road with me, I really do appreciate it. Ultimately, I talk about how the digital and the internet age and the dangers of it, and how it's being misused. Instead of a tool, it's being used as a weapon, basically. If you listen to the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. But if it wasn't for this wonderful digital format or video games in general, because, I mean, come on, technology is all connected, I wouldn't have some of the friendships I have. And as a recluse, and I have people to verify, I have friends, but I don't have a friend in my life. You know what I'm saying? And for a recluse, a real person that's you could play games with or interacts with you through Twitter or Facebook, and they listen to you, and that's my connection. And so I use it as a tool. And like I said, if these were my last words spoken, I just want to make sure everybody knew that I was very happy for my crappy little life. And it means a lot to me. And I'm going to keep trying to do what I got to do to keep swimming. And if, the God that, if you listen to the podcast, you know what God is to me. If God has given me the energy to get up out of bed tomorrow, then you'll have another podcast coming from the Simply Super Dave. Life is what you make it. It is all about perspective. It is your bubble, right? Every now and then our bubbles don't grow as big as we would like them to be, and they don't glow as bright as we'd like them to be. Sometimes they could be a little dim and a little small. But just remember, they can always get bright again. Just don't let them get dark. A dark bubble, boy, it's hard to navigate a dark bubble. But I think we've all been there. And I hope everybody keeps their bubbles bright this Monday night. And I hope you have a terrific start to your week, even if it was a bad day. Because guess what? You're here, you're listening, you're thinking, hopefully, wondering who you are. I mean, you're not your name. You're not your body. Who are you? I mean, this is your body, but it's your body. That's your name, but it's your name. Who are you? Think about it. I'm telling you, folks, the podcast is not about, hey, this is how I feel about racism. This is what you should think too. This is about, hey, how do you feel about racism? This is how I feel about it, blah, blah, blah. But I think other people feel this way about it. I try to cover all angles, really. When you have a multiple personality like I do, then you kind of cover all the bases a little bit. But every now and then, I love to hear that extra voice that comes with something I don't have. I haven't thought of. I love hearing people's opinions about what I haven't thought of. That way, I can elaborate and maybe even change what I thought about it. Because I'm willing to change. Because, baby, I evolve. And in this life, as hard as things have gotten in this crazy world, for us lower nobodies at the bottom of the, whatever you want to call it, corporate ladder of the world, it's hard. It's really fucking hard. And I just love, by the way, I love seeing people speak out and talk about things and say how they really feel. I love seeing those little perks here and there. It doesn't have to happen all the time, but it's good to hear people finally kind of speak out a little bit, questioning things. I see a lot of it, a little bit more and more lately, and I love it. I love it to death. I'm not even concerned about what the real answer is, because I can't worry about every topic, right? That there's people that are devoted to that. They got it. I'm there to support you. When you give a big push, I'll push with you, or whatever. But you're already pushing. You're getting that done. All right? We all have to split up and handle these different areas that we all care about. But we can't expect other people to do the same as you. You know what I'm saying? We all have our jobs, and that's what we really care about, and that's what we do. And that's where, the different things like racism, gender, and just every fucking thing out there, just really, you pick a topic, it's covered, it's got a group, it's got something like that. Just find something organic, something that's real, that really goes directly into your cause, okay? That's all I gotta say. Don't ever donate, don't ever get involved. And I don't care what people tell you. It sounds cool to get paid to go stand outside and protest for something. But if you don't know what you're out there protesting, and it's only because you're getting paid, I really think that is a bad organization. I don't care what organization it is. I don't care if it was a wrestling organization. I looked down upon when I found out. I think back in the day when WCW used to pay fans to hold signs, like they have signs, they give them to fans. No, I hate that. That's not organic. That's made up bullshit. I hate that stuff. I know wrestling's fake, but there's a line. There's a line. The fans are already nuts. Why do you gotta? Let them bring their own. Encourage that, and that would be better than to have pre-made signs and then to. I don't know. I think they had like audience roars and stuff. It's stupid. I don't agree with that kind of promotion. You don't have to make yourself look good. I think you put a product out there and then you let the people out there spread the word for you. Really, But anyway, that's it for me. I know I rambled past the point that I was going to make. I was just saying, folks, look, embrace who you are. You're not perfect. You're going to fuck up. But if you're going to spread any words, if you're going to leave an imprint out there for anybody, leave it the best version of yourself. Put the best foot forward out there, okay? Yes, I know. I'm being real by telling you to be fake. Why? Because we don't want to be the real angry asshole bears that we are at home sometimes out in public. At home is a different beast all within itself. That's the cage where all the different personalities come out. The podcast gets the, oh, I'm Simply Super Dave. How are you doing today? And that's what you get. And this dorky dude from the great state of Louisiana. Look, folks, I'm not good at this part, but before I bounce out and wish you a little love and laughter, I do want to say that I do have Cash App open for donations. The podcast is free, okay? Just if you feel obligated and you're like, waxing your shoes with $100 bills or something, and you want to drop a little cash to the poor person out there, then hit my Cash App up. It's the dollar symbol, of course. As you all know, it's the first thing that's always on every Cash App name. And it is, of course, Simply Super Dave. So hit me up on that if you like. That I'm definitely not going to turn that down. It will support keeping the podcast going and also maybe get the Streamlabs up on the Twitch account. For now, the Twitch streams are raw radio. It's just a game and me talking. So if you tune into those, it's a lot like this, except I do a lot of, yo, what the fuck just happened? Because someone shot me in the head. But anyway, like I said, folks, I hope you have a great Monday, and I hope the rest of the week works out for you, and God willing, we'll have another podcast for you tomorrow. Remember, you already know what I'm fixing to say. There's only one way to conquer hate and fear out there, and that's with love and laughter. So go be a conqueror. Don't be a victim. Peace.